you for being here. Thank you for breathing here. Thank you for shining here. Thank you for playing on your phone here. Who's got the side comments now? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for thinking here. Thank you for storytelling here. Thank you for creating and imagining. Thank you for feeling here. And thank you for sensing here and tuning in here. Thank you for overlooking here. Thank you for the story of what here means. Thank you for being the here that has never been told. Thank you for living here, breathing here, sometimes dying here. Thank you for your existence. Thank you for the flavor of your kindness, the flavor of your aliveness, your experience. Thank you for your ancestors being here, and their ancestors and their ancestors. Thank you for being on this planet, sitting here, lying here, standing here, side shuffling here, electric sliding here. Thank you. Thank you for the thoughts you have about yourself. Thank you for the thoughts you have about something called other. Thank you for the thought about the thought about the thought. Thank you for attempting to swirl shit around. It's like water paint, space paint, stillness paint, silence paint. Mm. Thank you for taking on the adventure of something called a self-improvement project. Thank you for educating yourself. Thank you for all the things that one could learn, all the recipes, yummy recipes, and recipes for disaster. Thank you for closing off and putting up your walls. Thank you for the strategies you've accumulated. The ones that at one moment you really thought worked. Someone's saying address. let's tell this beloved. Oh, you did? 409 Promenade Drive, Superior, Colorado 80027. See you soon, love. Thanks, Way. uh, Ah, the sweetness. And thank you for opening. Thank you for having the courage to sometimes put down those strategies. Thank you for your courage to sometimes not have to exist armored and closed off. Thank you for melting. Thank you for breaking open. Thank you for discovering what's here when one's truly unprotected. Thank you for discovering what's available when defense isn't one's first response. Thank you for your teachers and the quotes and the books and the websites and the YouTube videos and the people you've met on the streets and the grocery stores and the retreat centers, at the spas, at the bathhouses. Thank you for your willingness to be struck by your own beauty and your own brilliance. Thank you for allowing yourself to be sung to, for your senses to be delighted. Thank you for being infinite and vast. Thank you for being everything. Thank you for being all things now. Thank you for not ever being a thing at all. Thank you for your willingness to attempt to squeeze yourself into every possible mirage. Thank you for being free. Thank you for being you. However that you lands, and the you that has never known a you, or a Y or an O or a U, or a T or a U, or whatever language you prefer. Thank you for being this silence. Thank you for in this moment noticing no limit to this silence. Thank you for being this awareness, loving awareness. Thank you for noticing in this moment, bottomless, surfaceless, no limit, aware, vivid wakefulness, just as the moment is. Thank you for being a presence so benevolent. All appearances are allowed to have a full life, and all appearances are allowed to have an honorable undoing. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for the thought of who you are, the image of who you are, the fluctuating thoughts of who you are, the fluctuating image of who you are. And thank you for being closer and beyond every and all images, assumptions, concepts, thoughts, interpretations, renderings. It's so sweet to be here as the little here and as the big here. I hear big here and I think of big ear. Let's see, is the big ear here? Yes, it's here. It's here. Somehow, since I was a kid, that question appeared in this live stream with all the color and all the traumatic events and all the passion multiplied by the cultural passion of Cubans and Italians. Somehow, this invitation to consider is the big ear here appeared. And I could always stop no matter what the feelings were, no matter what the sensations were, no matter what the hugeness of the events before me, the hugeness of the trauma resounding throughout the atmosphere. To consider, is there something here that's listening fully? My friend Deborah has a tattoo. They were listen and silent. Now they have the same letters. It's so sweet. And that was a profound discovery in such a young age. That in the listening was endless. I could lay down and just listen to all the sounds in the neighborhood and then listen to the subtleties of breath and then listen to thoughts and then listen to feelings. And it was like there was this listening, this open-ended listening, welcoming all that was being listened to, listening to the silence, listening to the room. There was this noticing that the listener, the listening, that which is listening to, seamless, inseparable, rest, ease, calma, calma. And it's an immeasurable honor to be at the feet of all the graces, the tiny graces, the Grand Canyon graces, the nature graces, the friendship graces, the psychedelic graces, the will and graces, all the sweet graces, all the ways this moment says hello to itself, welcomes itself, loves itself, confirms itself, annihilates itself. So from this space, I just love to explore Have there been any graces lately? What's been your experience? What are you noticing? What's alive for you? What feels stale? What feels off? What's present? So feel free to either say something in the chat room or you can welcome. Thanks, love.
It's good to see you.
It's so good to see you.
It's good to
I've
hear you.
missed you. Yeah, it's so fun.
Had I known how nothing that cracker was,
Okay.
it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's so boring,
Ah.
except for all the freedom
Ah.
it rushes in.
So funny, right?
I was stunned
Mm.
when I encountered that. I was like, cracker's actually way too much.
It's way too much.
Way too much.
Way too much.
Way.
Even the lightest, fluffiest.
It's like a universe.
It's a whole universe. Hence the limitation of language.
Yes. Yes. And
Yeah.
the engine of my opinions
Mm.
just there's nothing for that to hold on to,
Ah.
and it's like a Lego ball rolling down the street. Just disintegrate. It just falls
Ah,
apart.
falls apart. Mm.
Falls apart.
The sweetest falling apart ever. Oh, so happy.
Operating from that is interesting.
Uh-huh.
That's it's almost the sort of same kind of seeker energy. Like, oh, the what's wrong to, oh, what's there to explore? And no need to explore. No need to add,
Ah,
subtract,
beautiful. Mm.
multiply, divide, whatever.
Right. Yeah, beautiful to notice how subtle a thought form can come in.
Yeah. Yep. It's like this. It's like this consistent kind of cruising just a little bit above neutral,
Mm.
like this sort of positive neutrality.
Yeah.
That's even that's even a set of words like plain ass cracker.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's nothing to add.
Right. Every word blessedly fails.
Yeah.
So sweet. Keep doing it, saying it anyway.
I heard you said at the feet a little earlier.
Ah,
I heard
yes.
defeat.
Oh, I love that defeat. Hmm.
Be defeated, and you're
Right.
totally defeated.
Right. Right. Totally defeated.
Yeah, I had a lot of opinions. The last times I was coming here, I was getting like
Oh,
I
fun.
felt my I could see myself getting pissed off.
Oh, I love that.
Like, I'm not hearing it. I'm not a.
Right.
You've been around me enough
Right.
to know what that looks like,
Uh,
and just like after that started to take hold,
uh-huh.
the 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 boringness
Uh-huh.
kicked in. A huge amount of being really
Mm.
all my ideas about what I thought it was, about what enlightenment should be. There is no such thing as spirituality. I got all those ideas. that, and then they just it's like, what are you,
Right. Right.
and then silence,
Yay.
and they all just died.
Yeah.
Not died, they weren't alive.
Right.
Like
To
they didn't,
begin with.
they had it, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, everything now is sort of turning to, and it's like, ah, or even I'll notice myself
Yeah.
like getting
Mm-hmm.
a little, like whatever, caught up in the day. It's totally
Uh-huh.
fine. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's that. Oh, got it. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
So innocent.
Yeah. And
So
sometimes it will
welcome.
be a lot, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, got it. No worries.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries.
Yeah, no worries.
So much space.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still will to act,
Right.
like planning.
Right.
So totally fine.
Yeah. I dare someone to try not to.
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna be on the planet. You're gonna be on the planet. Better have a little bit of planning. It's useful.
It's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Hello, love. Welcome, welcome. Hi.
So
Can we, Devin, will you do me a favor? Can you get the backjacks and the, oh, they're right there. Welcome to bring them here. Uh,
so many stories and nothing to say.
Wonderful. So many stories and nothing to say. That's exactly what the universe says to itself.
And that is that Zen saying that were the
Oh, can
secrets
you
known
share?
throughout the world, were the were the secret of life really known throughout the world, there would be laughter.
Okay.
This whole it's so boring except for all the freedom. I don't know if that's it, but that's pretty damn close.
I love that so much. And then it's so fun to explore who is it boring to? What is it boring to? Which is so fun. Hi. Oh, you're so here. I can't believe the thought that you weren't here a second ago. So fun. S- Yes, just a lot of gratitude for how totally insane you are and how totally at peace and silent and clear and beautiful you are. A lot of gratitude for who you are, who you imagine yourself to be, who you imagine others to be, and that you that has truly never been imagined, free of all amazing tidbits of mind, tidbits of perception and concepts and interpretation. So free, uncharted, truly, wild, untamed, truly, roaring just as you are. This whole universe, your purr, your meow, or your woof. Gratitude for the sweet emanations of unwavering stability, unwavering peace, and the willingness for every bouquet to have its day. The bouquet of mind. Imagine the possibility of knowing your mind as a bouquet, as a garden. Not a problem.
Did you say knowing your mind as a bouquet? Not a problem.
Not a problem.
No, I was thinking today how you said it's only mind that has a problem with mind.
Right. Only the bouquet that's got a problem with the bouquet.
Only the bouquet. And it definitely stopped me in my tracks when I
Ah,
remembered that.
yeah.
Because, yeah, I could say my mind has a problem with my mind.
Can anyone else relate?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever experienced mind, having thoughts about mind? Why are you thinking that? Why
Right,
are you believing that? That's your grandmother. That's your mama.
right.
That's your unmet trauma. All wonderful, nothing wrong with it, but sweet to notice. There's more. There's more to it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It definitely stops me.
isn't that so sweet? Right.
Yeah,
It's like, oh wow.
right. Well, I guess it's, yeah, it's what you talk about war.
Yes.
The worrying factor of, well, this can't be okay. That,
Right.
I'm sure we all, whatever, self criticism or I'm not enough,
Uh
or
huh.
I'm sure I'm the only mind that's ever
No, you
right.
are the only
I'm
one.
the only one.
You are. You pretty much are.
And so the mind then thinks, well, that can't be okay to
Hmm.
have that,
Yeah.
those attacks.
Right.
They do come and go,
Yeah.
um,
Hmm.
often the mornings,
Yeah.
but it's like
Right.
we get so convinced that it shouldn't be there. Or
Yes.
that flower shouldn't be, I don't know how to flower. That shouldn't be in the bouquet. I don't know.
One of those things. Don't know what those are, but
Right, but you're saying it's all in,
it's all in the bouquet. The bouquet is okay. It's the okay bouquet.
I love the Byron Katie saying, other than what I'm thinking and believing, am I okay?
Right. Yeah, such a beautiful question. Exploration. Other than what I'm thinking or believing, am I okay right now? It's such a sweet invitation. Yeah. Thank you, Devin.
Well, for the sake of my friend and for the sake of myself, I was wondering if you might speak to. Well, there's like one is the basic question is like, so what are we beyond this bouquet? And let's say, for example, I'm a person who doesn't know what I am beyond my bouquet. How could it be that I could not that that I could not know what I am beyond my bouquet? How does that happen? How do we miss that? And what is it that we miss? Or you know what I mean? Or there's
Uh-huh.
can you just it's sort of like Ash 101 or something like that.
So fun.
That's kind of my request.
So fun. Well, I mean, one thing that I really love about this invitation to notice what's beyond the bouquet is that there's a simultaneous education, we can say, that takes place, an education in the nature of mind and an education in what's prior to mind, closer than mind. And so, in all spiritual teachings, even though there's so many texts and so many sutras and so many tantras and so many pointings and so many exercises and so many words and so many so much elaboration, so many amazing colors. Salud. All of that is inviting us to get curious about shifting the emphasis of our attention. So, our usual focus of attention that we're trained into. So, when we're born, have you looked into the face of a baby? Ah, pure sunshine. Of course, minds can project a lot of things onto the baby, But the baby itself, there's no concepts there. There's no thoughts there. There's no concept mommy or daddy, or just fully available to the instinctual experience of their senses and their eyes, pure awareness, pure sunshine, not knowing what a carpet is or a table is or even a pacifier is or a nipple is or a tree is and then there's a training that occurs, the training of this education of who we are. You know, we get gendered or misgendered. We get told what our name is and what our culture is, and what this is and what that is and what that is and what this is. And so we learn to relate to ourselves through the distortion, the innocent distortion of separation consciousness. And then we don't notice that there's clear light there. In order to experience the rainbow of phenomena, there's the prism of uninvestigated assumption of mind and the clear light, its source. To stop for a moment and be here without being here through the lens of concepts. So that may sound like, how do we do that? But it's just a moment of not having to think for a second. Just a bum 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 ba, shaka thinking chinka. And in that cha, there's just this open cognizance. Notice, not having to know anything, not having to know if anything's true. There's this cognizance here. If we're not thinking about sitting, thinking about being on a planet, thinking about existing, thinking about our chakras, or thinking about, there's a cognizance, there's a vivid wakefulness, there's an open, aware intelligence. So, a friend of mine named Candace O'Denver speaks to it as moving from closed intelligence to open intelligence. Closed intelligence is the innocent intelligence of pockets of information, descriptions, descriptive intelligence. Anything that can be described is and belongs to the realm of mind. Nothing wrong with it. Innocent, practical, as a bouquet, a garden. How wonderful. When we don't notice, see, if we were brought up, like I see us moving into a time, into a space where our education systems don't just include the wonders of closed systems of intelligence, but simultaneously include the preserving of the education of open intelligence. So I spoke to this last satsang, which was really fun to look at. Um, but so sweet to notice. Oh, wow, there's a lot that I've learned here. I can describe everything in this room pretty much. And then it's so sweet being these naked monkeys on a wet rock spinning through infinity, coming up with all these names and forgetting we've made it up to begin with. We forget that we made it up. We really think our names are true. We really think our words are true. We really think our concepts are true. We really think like there's no, it stomps out the curiosity, the playfulness. Everything gets so serious and crusty and constricted, seemingly. The good news is that no matter how crusty it may seem, when we take a moment to look as the sunshine of who we are, no crust present. When we look at the apparent momentum of a species or of a human race with all of its uninvestigated assumptions through the sunshine of the don't know mind, no, nothing here to unravel, nothing here to undo, nothing here to fix. Moment is fresh, moment naked, moment not bound to any concept of past. And so, in this open intelligence, noticing itself, it's like, ah, If I were to ask you, who are you? But you can only answer it without touching the past. No toca the past, please. What's here? No touching of the past. Not one atom of something called past. Not one syllable. Not one letter or hieroglyphic. Cha 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 cha. Wepa. Yay. You want to say something else? Anyone? Okay.
I mean, I'm just thinking about like my um, first encounter with awareness itself. My
Yeah.
first conscious, intentional encounter came
Yes.
through blessing,
Uh, came,
and
sorry?
blessing.
Came through a blessing?
Yeah.
Ah,
And
beautiful.
the point is, like, I could sit on a street corner and be like, your awareness is open and free. It's right here, right now.
Uh-huh.
Do you see it? And they'd be like, nah, no, bro, I don't see what you're talking about.
Well, can you know that 100%?
But if they say, like, how do you transmit to another being? How do you show
Oh,
something
well,
that's
this was
already
so
there?
fun.
Because you do it. Like that's what you kind of do. You transmit. It's not just what you say. It's
Mm,
the gaze. It's the transmission of the thing itself, which passes beyond the mind
mm,
and invites my awareness to, in a way, open open to my own
mm,
being. I don't know how
mm.
to put it.
Sweet.
So it's more or less this question of transmission or sharing this
Yeah,
with someone who, like, how do you do that?
that's so fun. And I love this question. I mean, it's what I hear is how sweet to be able to say I love you in a more honest, genuine way. And to be able to be with another human being in a more honest and genuine way. And it's so sweet. It's kind of like something that gradually outshines. Let's say the more familiar we get with who we are as this open spaciousness, the more familiar and easy it is to know this as everyone before us, anyone before us. It's kind of like to the degree that we imagine ourselves to be separate, is to the degree that we imagine other things to be separate.
So when one is outside of that imagining and more in the presence of presence or whatever
Mm.
in one's self, then are you saying that then you that's what you encounter in the other?
It's effortless, and the idea of other relaxes. So it's not like you walk up to someone and hello, self. Like, that it's an internal giggle while still saying by still maybe, I mean, who knows, right? It's so spontaneous. But from my experience, there's the the subtle um, echo of our social interactions and social skills. Totally okay. So chill. but but closer than that, than the what's the word I'm looking for? Than the surface niceties or the surface uh, is this knowing. It's like as we deepen in this recognition, the concept other. There is such a thing as other people. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true that there's others? In other words, you start noticing that all of that is conceptual. And so, in my experience, talking here, there's no part of me that thinks that there's anything called transmission or anything coming from here going there, or there's this side of the screen or that side of the screen, or this side of the skin line and that side of the skin line. It's like this is the great expanse of one love here as itself.
But if you're even thinking, I've got to transmit awareness to someone else, then you're already in the whole matrix
Good
of,
to notice.
right.
So good to notice. Yeah, there's a lot of concepts that have to be believed in order to hold that assumption in its place. But as soon as we start looking and telling the
It's
truth,
kind of radical.
it's pretty
This
radical.
is what you're
Yeah,
describing is pretty radical.
it's pretty radical.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what I also love about it in its radicalosity is that it's so human. It's the invitation for humans to finally be human because it's so ordinary. You know, it's like we can really meet as broken, we can meet as flawed, we can meet as magic, we can meet as beauty, we can meet as all the things effortlessly, not one thing having to change, not one thing having to be altered. And then we're just available. So I love the word available for however this moment wants to respond to itself. We're available as an intelligence, not limited to the limited closed intelligence of the thinking mind, but we exist and we're informed by the wisdom of our being. And it's so kind. What I love about that is that it's so kind. It's just like, hi. Yeah. And everything's included, our humanness included, our names included, our opinions, our frustrations, our perceptions, our and also this unspoken vastness, this unspoken aware intelligence. And you're on planet Buddha.
There's awareness, and then there's this I that just literally is like
Well,
I,
there's an I,
I.
and is there another I that has a thought about the I?
Yeah.
Good to notice. So, right now, just let that be here. Like the beloveds we meet on the street. Each of them don't have to change. That I and all of its thoughts, this I and all of its thoughts about that I. Notice how much space there is for them both. And if anyone else wants to come to the party too, there's permission for the mind. The mind isn't a commentary about where you are. The mind is exaltation of who you are. The mind is confirmation of awareness. Notice the only way you can say that there's this mind here is because you're aware of it. The only way you can say there's a pain in the body is because you're aware of it. The only way you can say anything at all is due to the subtle, unwavering love of awareness. Just as every shadow is confirmation that there is light here, the apparent shadow of mind confirms that there is light here, awareness here. So sweet to recognize the option to give permission for our humanity to just be as it is, for our absurdity to just be as it is, for our fears to just be as they are, for thoughts unquestioned to just be as they are. And if it's supportive to question them as a sweet little training wheel, ah, so welcome, so, so welcome. Yeah. Hmm. Mind will always have a problem with itself. It's good to just get that out of the way. When we imagine that there'll come a time when, oh, there'll be a time when mind's going to be like, no, it's so perfect for mind to be itself. Again, just like an oak tree gets to be itself, or a platypus gets to be itself, mind gets to totally be itself. Mind describes separates, categorizes, compares. I imagine in those car with all those hot Italianos, those race car races. Hey, all the race car races, and you know how they like pull over and everyone comes to help and they change the tires and they put the gas and the. That's what mind does, constantly attempting to refuel the assumption that it exists, re-justify the assumption that it's real. And it does that by indulging, avoiding, and replacing. Indulging, telling the story, indulging in the story, avoiding, avoiding all the sensations, avoiding all the things, and replacing. If we're in spiritual subcultures, replacing is very popular. Replace a negative with a and all of these different strategies have had their place in the evolution of our species. None of them are wrong. They're not the devil. They're not evil. They're not bad. They're not opposite. They're not. It's just the innocence of the uninvestigated assumption of separation. And when that appears, it's like we get really skilled at noticing, oh, hi, indulging. There's so much room for you here. And as you notice, you turn up the volume of what's already singing, which is the aware stability you are. Oh, my emotions are here and I want to avoid them. I want to eat all the things and I want to watch all the Netflix. I want to have all the sex and I want to do all the psychedelics and all the Demerol and I want and and all of that's okay. None of that's wrong, you know. And but then we notice, it's like we really want to get familiar with what's free, even in the presence of a sadness that feels unbearable. Then we allow that sensation to be here. We don't avoid it. We welcome it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And in the replacing, same thing with that. We welcome, welcome. Yay. And then sometimes total wisdom. Oh, yeah, I'm totally replacing right now or moving away from that truck coming at 70 miles per hour. Of course, so this is not mind's version of this invitation. We notice that common sense has its place, and wisdom has its place, and mind has its place. And all of it held, subsumed by this wholeness that you are. This beauty that you are. Human being, yes. Human becoming, that too, but mostly human beautiful. A human that includes the vastness, because this vastness is just as common as our nose and our tooth and our tongue. Sometimes we put vastness in the category of just as simple, just as ordinary as a hangnail, just as ordinary as this moment, as a sock. Awareness here, naturally, itself. Anyone else want to share something or explore something? Was that helpful? You're welcome. So happy you came with your beloved. What's your name? Paul? Good to meet you, Paul. So fun. So fun. Mm. the sweetest session today with a beloved who I've been working with for some time. And the whole session was both of us crying. And the tears started with this beloved just saying, I never knew that I would not be able to turn off compassion. And they were just so excited that in getting familiar with the innocent, universal innocence of mind, every soul they've met, and it was triggered by them going to a family reunion where everyone wore the same t-shirt kind of family reunion, big ass family. So wonderful. And before, they would just constantly be in judgment mode and and the spiritual judgment, which is sometimes the worst kind of judgment. That person should fix their chakras. That person should really work on their shit. That person has all the daddy issues. That person all the mommy issues. That person needs to meet God. That person needs to do the work. That person needs to retreat. That person should really do psychedelics. That person should really go do some ayahuasca and then go do some iboga and then go do some 5-MeO DMT right away. And the whole time they weren't even present. The whole time they weren't even present. The whole time they were just in their own heads, echo chamber of their own judgments about themselves. Isn't that fascinating? We think we're somewhere, but we're not there. We're only in our heads about there. But to actually land and open and soften, ah, and it was so sweet of them to be like, wow, there was just compassion for all my cousins. Compassionate Cousins by Sylvie Wrinkle. It's a great book. You should look it up on all. Oh, compassionate cousins. Who don't love a compassionate cousin? But it was so, I was so happy for them and for their hearts, and so happy for their family. Wow, their family got their family member back. They were able to do the potato sack races and they were able to get on that canoe and they were like saying like doing all the things, doing the egg and the spoon, running across. They even did that. Sweethearts, 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 all of us, sweethearts, sweethearts, innocent sweethearts, precious, 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 immeasurably precious, immeasurably precious. So, yeah, this compassion, it's effortless, it's already part of who you are. Kindness, effortless, already part of who you are. What's up? It's right there. I love you. Can anyone relate? Can anyone relate? I know I've been there, and I'm still sometimes there. Got to catch myself. Oh, hold up. Hi, mind. Well, it depends. Right. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
can go past the thing and you can lose one life, but you still got 4 stars. Like, you know, it's yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's a vibe,
Yes.
and, and it's like in a way it helped me because I stopped taking her personally.
Mm.
I started stop thinking of it as me versus her,
Mm-hmm.
but more thinking about like almost like this like matrixy kind of situation of like how
Fun.
can I get through this without being a bitch and
Right.
even being nice and also and yet you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I guess is that like what do you think about that solution as a way, or do you think that that's still kind of like fucked up?
Well, I mean, it's so. I love how you're so cute. I mean, it's definitely fucked up, but yay, fucked up. I love fucked up. I mean, I love how creative we can get, you know? And everything is necessary until the moment it's not. It's okay for there to be these strategies and these ways of looking at things and getting creative with things, and you know, it's there's this health to it. There's this level of protection, this cocoon, this support, this permission slip. Um, and it's totally, but it's just up to each of us to notice, to get really honest, and to maybe get curious. Is it possible where I can totally be at peace and just speak my truth and have these kind of interactions? And also, is it possible to be completely willing for her to have her own experience, for her to have her own story, for her to have her own reactions, even if it's about, especially if it's about me, right? Especially if it's about me. Yeah, it's an option. Right. Right. And can you, right. And I love how Byron Katie says no two people have ever met. And it's true. It's so wonderful that we experience each other. And until we get a clue, we totally, you know, we meet someone and we think we're meeting them. We're just meeting our story about them. We're meeting our interpretation about them. We're meeting our story about their scent, our story about their way they dress or the way they talk, or the story about their bodies, or the story about their past, the story about even our parents, the most intimate. Doesn't matter whose you come out of. It's like the stories happen. Stories happen. Thoughts happen. Projection happens. Identities happen, and not as a way of taking that uh, into like some kind of psychopathic path, um, but as a way of really allowing oneself to be fully present and vulnerable and honest and
Because this presence thing,
yeah.
like as it's like as if I don't know how to refer to it without being a self right now, but would you say that that presence, that aware presence beyond the self, beyond the mind, can
Mm,
be vulnerable
absolutely vulnerable.
and can still use speech, can still utilize speech, but yet not be caught up in it, essentially? Like it can still use all the colors of the wind,
Yes.
you know. So do you see how it's kind of funny though, how something can like the concepts are sort of this blockage to can be this sort of false story, right? It can be this sort of like looping narrative that we become or perpetuate. But then
Mhm.
you're also saying that pure presence is inundated in all of that, and that awareness doesn't mean that you give up any of that at all, that you don't stop engaging in all any of that story. Like it's still unfolding. You're still in the story, like because there's no quote unquote no problem with the story. So the story is still there, right? Or is your experience different?
I love this so much.
Is it
Well,
okay?
what it's so good, and it's so good to explore. So, you know what I love about coming back to the simplicity of the moment is like I don't have to know anything. And in that availability, everything is welcome and everything is used. And if the flavor of sun is here. It's like, oh yeah, I'm so happy to just be my mom's son. The flavor of brother is here, flavor of friend is here, flavor of artist is here, musician is here. Um, it's like I get to just be here, and if there's a question, how exciting! I just have to answer it, and answer it honestly. Um, and then it's so sweet to notice, like with this wisdom, it's like sometimes we want to learn these things as a way to put them in our back pocket for when those moments come. Oh, I'm going to learn about awareness. So when I do call my mom, then I can pull that awareness card out, and we want to take it as another strategy.
Fix it. Now I'll be okay because I
Right.
have the awareness.
So
Then
innocent.
everything's
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
Right. Now that I have awareness, I can apply it to this situation and this situation, this situation. And that's just innocently mind co opting awareness again and making its own little religion about it. When it's much more wild and untamed than that and kinder than that, also.
A recent quote I saw from Adyashanti, and this is one of the weirdest things I've ever heard.
Oh,
Heard
fun.
somebody say, "The more okay you are when you're not okay, the more okay you are."
I love that. Yeah.
And I was like,
The more okay you are when you're not okay, the more okay you are. I love it. It's so
"What's
good.
another way to say it?"
I'm
I'm okay with it.
okay with that. Yeah. Yeah. It's so sweet in those situations. Like, I remember, there was a time where I had to, like, I would stop and I'd be like, okay, I'm about to be in this particular situation, or I'm going to have like one of them talks with like one of my lovers, or I'm going to, I need to have this conversation with my mom, or I'm going to just see my mom, or, and I would stop and I'd have to like really notice, oh, wow, do I have, what am I investing in right now? Is there a part of me that thinks this is a game that I'm gonna win? Is this a part of me that feels like I'm gonna have the last word? And and just noticing what mind wants to do. And again, just like what I would tell myself is, oh, I'm with my mom right now. And I'd look at a chair or a pillow and I just and it's like, oh wow, there's no difference in the sense of I just project my whole story. I can project my whole story onto everything. And I'm not with her in the future. I'm with her right now. And is it okay for me to be myself? And I started noticing, yeah, it's okay to just be here. And is it okay for her to be herself? So okay for her to be herself. That was one of the biggest gifts for me, was the permission for her to be herself. I had this big story that she had to do this in order for me to finally be okay. And when I really explored that, it was like, okay, my mom has to finally say sorry for the way that she fucking treated me as a kid and all the shit she did and all the shit she said. And until because she was be in denial, like, I've never said that, I've never do that. And I would get infuriated because I thought she, like, that we'd never heal if she didn't finally come clean, that I'd never be able to be comfortable with her if she was just lying till the day she died. It was like so sad. And then I'd ask myself the question, okay, what do I think I'd get out of her telling me the truth? What would her telling me, what would her validating my experience give me? Hmm. Wow. Her saying, oh, yeah, I did those things and I'm sorry. And I'd soften my nervous system some. I'd relax and what would a soft nervous system and relaxation give me in that moment? Oh, my heart comes through. And how do you experience your mom in that space? And oh, I love her. I get to love her. All I want to do is love her. And if she did these things, then I really just get to love her. And then I got really curious about what if I can just go straight to the love? What if she didn't have to do any of those things for me just to love her. Why am I giving her so much power? Why am I giving her my world? Why am I putting my capacity to be a loving human being in her hands, in her experience? What if, like, is it maybe it's not true that she needs to says these things to love her? And then I started noticing it was not at all true. That I could just love her, and that I and it's like also the question. Okay, I won't be able to love her until she does this and this. No, I can absolutely love her now. Even we got to be honest about if this work is relevant in our experience. Of course, I want people to be very clear. If you're in an abusive situation, leave. Get the fuck out of there. If there's fighting, if there's punching, if leave. This is not what I'm talking about. This is privilege. It takes a lot of privilege, to be able to get into the subtle nuances. And if you're in a fucked up situation, get the fuck out of there. Leave. Call the police. Get help. Call a therapist. Get support. Satsang is not a replacement for the very real and very tragic things that can happen in our lives. And the systems that have somehow come up to play, as limited as they are, perfect for those moments and those particular moments. To be clear, yes.
I think there's also a way though, like, because I just know that I come from like a pretty abusive family, and
Yeah,
I'm still in touch with them, and I still love those
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Most of them, not I'm not in touch with all of them, but the point is, I guess I wonder, like, maybe it is a kind of privilege that I get to ask this question of myself. Well, I don't actually know. No, there's things I don't want to say actually that, like, I think an interesting question is too is just noticing. I mean, this is more of a therapy question, I guess, than a satsang question, because it's not always, sometimes I've lived in a story of like you've abused me, you've abused me, you've abused me,
Mm,
and then like to find like, oh fuck, I'm actually being abusive too. I'm
that's
actually,
usually the case
yeah,
for most of us.
yeah. And so it's actually like this thing that like abuse is in a certain way. Not always, but once you get wise enough and old enough, and you're not this little child who can't take care of himself, and if you're staying, then you kind of are getting. I'm sort of getting something out of it too by
Good to
staying,
notice.
and I guess that's kind of not a totally satsangy, but I guess I feel like saying it out loud.
I love that. And I would say that's satsangi for
Yeah.
this moment,
Mm-hmm.
and therapy. There's a place where they kind of blend.
Mm.
But yeah, so sweet to notice, to recognize. That's how it is a thing it is a phenomena for in the recognition of this that's real and this that's here, in the recognition of the innocence of mind, that trauma that was perpetuated and passed down generation and generation, that we take the responsibility to end it here. It is a thing. And that's why I keep doing these sad songs and keep sharing, you know, because it is possible for human beings to recognize, to learn, and in that to show up more loving, more compassionate, kinder. Yeah. And I thank each of you because you wouldn't be here if that wasn't part of your path, part of your journey, you know, coming to satsang. This isn't coming to, manifest a Ferrari or, or, or clean your karma. This is no thing with no thing. Liberation with itself. So I thank you, everyone watching as well. That option where we don't have to perpetuate, discomfort gets displaced when we learn to take responsibility for our discomfort. We're no longer engaged in trauma Tourette's, as I call it, where it's spewing out and it seems uncontrollable. Not that Tourette's is wrong. I love Tourette's. I have friends with Tourette's. It's so much fun. But I just mean in the fucking shit. Fuck. Fuck. Cut liquor. Fuck. Cunt. Tourette's? Oh, Tourette's. It's what is Tourette's? It's a what would you call it? A mental condition. Ticks, words. Right. It's kind of like, I mean, I'll share this because why not? But I remember being a kid and meeting a friend of mine who had Tourette's, and I had this intuition. I'm not saying this is true. I'm not saying this is, uh, anything. Just a sharing. But it's like with all that's repressed in our collective unconsciousness, all the words that are repressed, all the actions that are repressed, all the behaviors that are repressed, being that we are completely inseparable, and being that that's repressed, it needs to find it needs to be able to spew out. It needs to little leaks are made. And sometimes those leaks are made in that look like the lives of people. And and that was the intuition that I had of, oh, how sweet, the more we're able to collectively relax this repression, especially the sexual, the profanity, move beyond that's bad, drugs are bad, birds are bad. Move beyond that level of consciousness. That maybe conditions like Tourette's will also, but not saying they're wrong or bad. How fun to have fun or not fun. It's one's their teachers. Yeah, such opportunities. Anyone else like to share something? It's 8:19. Just a few more minutes. Anyone want to sing something or have a poem? Or if you tell me a number from 25 to 148, let's see what this book of poetry wants to give. 133. This poem is called Slay Your Sacred Cows. From my friend Shalon Harkin, her book Susceptible to Light, which I love. I love you, Shalon. So beautiful. Slay your sacred heifers. God smiles almost bemoaningly at your stack of prayers, your hoard of good deeds, your performed purity. Gives a big celestial sigh. If he could sit your ass down, give you a good talk, that is, if he didn't have better things to do, like whirl and celebrate his own great mystery and rapturously create universes and such, he would probably say, Darling, you have to slay your sacred cows first. You must stop kissing ass, even mine, especially mine. You must plunge into this soul I gave you. It is deep, terrifying, and wondrous. You must stop hesitating. You must nourish yourself and forget everything you've been taught in church and everywhere else. Your soul is the sacred tome. These books are simply arrows back into you. You must actively strip your soul, skinny dip in me. Feel the grace, experience the touch of mystical astonishment for your own self. I didn't make you a sheep, bitch. I made you a sorcerer of wisdom, a slayer of untruths, a vessel of stars, a fortress of inner knowing, a cathedral of beauty. To get to me, you must slay your sacred cows. To get to me, you must first be willing to slay everything you've thought me to be. $113, you said? 113. A ver. Self care. Perhaps we need to give dimension to the meaning of self care. Self care can mean finally sinking into the dark pools of your shadows you've long avoided. Self care can mean encountering the self spun and inherited veils we've cloaked over our luminous spirit and inquiring, am I more than that? Self care can mean at last entering the forest of your terrors to realize the fears you'd authored are all howling like night animals within you, and realizing the outside was always within. That may bring new wisdom. Self care can mean finally looking yourself in the eyes, into the black holes of your pupils, and their wild desire to annihilate every untruth you've held dear. And within all this, self care can still mean we get to eat a little extra chocolate. Podemos comer un poquito más de chocolate, pues. A little bit more chocolate. Hmm. I'm seeing if there's a song here. Anybody want to hear a song? Is there a particular song you want to hear? If you know any of my songs, a song about a particular theme. Got so many songs. Song. A sad song. A sad song. Fun. Susceptible to light. Mira, te lo voy a poner aquí, chica. Susceptible to light by Shalon Harkin. Get it at your local bookstore. Or you can do the other thing. Oh, the bouquet, the bouquet, the bouquet. Flower of this moment. You are the flower of this moment. Now, when I sing this song and I say, and your fragrant is bliss, know that that also means, and your fragrant is jealousy, anger, fear, terror. Your flavor is exactly how you're feeling in the moment. Doesn't have to just be bliss. It just rhymes better with the next line. Okay, so so flower of this moment. I wrote this song while I was in Maui on the ocean. And I swear to God, I was floating in that ocean and listening to the whale song. And usually their melodies are things like just kind of like not their own beautiful, strange music. But all of a sudden, I heard one go. I was like, "What? That's like sounds like like a full-on melody." And I got out of the ocean and I sat there, and this whole song just came through from the whale song that says, "I, I am." I'm in the middle of the ocean, an ocean that's in the middle of an ocean of stars. I'm in the middle of the ocean, an ocean. I'm breathing diamonds in Brahman's heart, floating gently in who you are. Thank you for holding me. All of humanity you hold the possibility for infinity to forever more sweetly in love. I thank you for loving me. All of humanity you love. Even if you can't see it's your destiny to simply exist as this alone. You are the flower of this moment, and your fragrance is bliss. Rest here like this. Rest here. You are the flower of this moment, and your fragrance is bliss. Rest here like this. Rest here. Oh, deeper than a feeling, closer than your breathing mouth. Here, everything's allowed to be as it is. All is welcome to exist. A spiritual experience, a worldly affair. Love's not going nowhere. You cannot get it wrong, for it's indeed the song. Oh, that every atom, every realm sings to you. It's true, it's true, it's true. That every atom, every realm sings to you. It's true, it's true. You are the flower of this moment, and your fragrance is bliss. Rest here like this. Rest here. You are the flower of this moment, and your fragrance is bliss. Gotta rest here like this. Rest here. Oh, like this. Take moments. What kind of dreams have you chosen? Explosions cannot obliterate these roses. I know this. I am the green thumb that grows this. A human with an infinite love diagnosis. But that which blooms from the soils of wisdom survives the rise and the fall of our systems. Marigold, will you hold all your traumas of care and scatter petals of love everywhere? You don't have to be a queen of decisions when your mind is a giant hibiscus. You don't have to be the king of no throne when hydrangeas the law in your soul. I remember if things start to harden and you're bouncing from pardon to pardon, there is nothing that need be discarded. For you are this moment, yes, you are this garden, you are this moment, you are this garden, infinite moment, infinite garden. You are this moment, you are this garden, you are the flower of this moment. Your fragrance is bliss. Rest here like this, oh, rest in like this. You are flower of this moment, and your fragrance is bliss. Oh, rest here like this, rest in. Thank you, loves. Thank you, loves. Thank you, loves. Thank you, loves. Happy flowering. Yay. You're welcome if you'd like to leave a cash donation over there, or you can send me a Venmo or you whatever else they're called. Um, and yay. Trying to think. Any retreats coming up? In September, I'm doing a 4E retreat with Deborah Silverman in Boulder. There's two of them, four elements. So it's using the elements as a way to turn up the volume of the space they appear in. Oh yes. Take a screenshot, beloved. This is the book, Susceptible to Light. And she has many more, so get all of them. They're so good. They're so good.